The presidential election is just 16 days away, and both candidates are trying to shore up support from a key demographic, black voters. According to a recent ABC News Ipsos poll, 82% support Vice President Kamala Harris compared to 13% for former President Donald Trump. Joining me now for more on this is journalist Roland Martin and former Tallahassee Mayor Andrew Gillum. Thank you both so much for being with us this morning. Andrew, I want to start with you. More black Americans voted in the 2020 election than any other presidential election since 2012. There's also been record early voting turnout. We just talked about, 82% of voters saying that of black male voters saying that they would support Harris, but that's down from Biden in 2020. What efforts do you think are being made to encourage black voters to get out and vote, period?
Yeah. Thank you, Janae. Good to be with you, and always good to be with my brother, Roland. I'm here actually in my hotel room about to check out here in Detroit, where early voting began in the state of Michigan, in Detroit, specifically on yesterday. And our podcast, Native Land Pod, hosted a conversation that included black men at the centerfold, but largely focused on the issues that confront our community. What I love about what the Harris campaign has done up to this point is that they're not taking any constituency for granted. She has already checked many journalists by saying, look, you act as if I'm supposed to begin this race with the assumption that any particular voter is going to be with me. Her rollout of a black agenda just a few weeks ago, I think was pivotal and important. I think she may be the only president or candidate for president who's ever run that's rolled out a black agenda that speaks specifically to the concerns that confront black men in this country. And so I think she's doing what she is supposed to be doing. I expect there's always been about a 10% margin of black men who have voted Republican. I think they'll hold in about that same range. But overwhelmingly, black men are the largest group of supporters of Democratic Party nominees of any other group, save for black women. And I think will prove to be the same this time around.
But, you know, Andrew, to your point about the rollout that she just had with a platform for black voters, that just happened. And I mean, it's happened as there has been more of a focus on black voters, specifically black men. And as folks have come out and said that these candidates need to be talking specifically to these demographics. Roland, you spoke to Vice President Kamala Harris just last week in North Carolina, another one of those critical battleground states. Tell us about that conversation with her. And I saw you shaking your head at no regarding the agenda.
The reason I was shaking my head, I participated in a dinner with the vice president in November last year. So she's been actually talking to black folks. She had 5 cities with the opportunity agenda. I was there with her. I was there covering her in Detroit, covering her in Atlanta. She was in Atlanta twice, Charlotte once. And so she's actually been doing this. Now, the campaign changed when Biden opted not to run and she became the nominee. That was late July. So the reality is she's actually been doing this for the last 10 months. Now, when you look at the plan that she rolled out, it spoke to specific things that folks want to talk about. But she's been laying out what they have been doing economically, health-wise, when it comes to all Americans, but especially African Americans. And so I think a lot of people, because they haven't been paying attention and haven't been covering her, don't understand exactly what she has been doing over the last year.
Well, but then that plays into a lot of what the Trump campaign's talking points are, which is that she has been in office for so long. Why hasn't more been done? Why don't more people know about what she's done? And he is, he just had Antonio Brown, Le'Veon Bell, former current football players out supporting him. Andrew, you said that about 10% of black men vote Republican. Even a small erosion in that support in some of those key states could make a difference. So what is Trump doing that is speaking to some of those groups?
Yeah, I mean, I can't speak to the particulars, but I do know one thing for sure, and that is between these two candidates for president, Kamala Harris and Donald Trump, only one of them has an agenda to confront the concerns that face black men. Only one of them have been out there, not just in the campaign cycle, but year over year through their public service, trying to mitigate the issues that disproportionately, frankly, set Black men up for greater levels of incarceration, less access to health care. The Republican agenda, at least as I've heard it here in Detroit, because I asked some of the folks here in Detroit, I said, what's going on? What's up with some of the local Black celebrities who have been endorsing Donald Trump? Well, one responded, there have always been useful idiots in every community. And the second was a belief that some of them getting paid. My point is this, they are not like us. We assume that when we see Black celebrities and former athletes who get out and support a Republican, this man's got tax policies that may affect them positively. But I can't get there with them because this man doesn't respect my humanity, my ability and right to exist. He would like to give carte blanche access to law enforcement to do whatever they will with us through a day of violence. Those are his words, not mine. So to the side for those who have decided to get with him for whatever their reasons may be, pay to play or otherwise, I know one thing, the majority of us overwhelmingly will be for Kamala Harris.
And Roland, I want to bring you in because is it fair to say that anyone who is siding with Donald Trump is, as you said, Andrew, not like us? Because, I mean, that's just not fair. Like, Black people are not a monolith.
Here's the Trump strategy. The Trump strategy is to, as you say, is to peel off a certain percentage. That's what you have going on. I was in North Carolina for 3 days last week. I was in Pennsylvania the previous week before that for 3 days broadcasting my show, Roland Martin Unfiltered. I've been in Georgia. I've been in here's the deal. Even last night when I was watching the Bears football games, what you saw literally 5 to 6 Trump ads talking about transgender bills. Okay, in every football game. So they are specifically targeting a male demo, including African Americans. You have Black men, some who look at the economic policies of Trump. You have some people who believe that, oh, we got these stimmy checks when he was there, not realizing it was Democrats that actually passed it. And so that's what the strategy is. He's going to some barbershop. But again, the broader agenda, what they're also not talking about, he wants to give police 100% immunity. He also wants to bring back stop and frisk. But you're going to have that percentage. This would help. This is what helped the vice president. Dramatic increase in Black female turnout, a dramatic increase in women turnout. So you may see an offset there for those Black men going to him, offset by Black women going to her in huge numbers.
All right, we will see. I really appreciate both of you, journalist Roland Martin, former Tallahassee Mayor Andrew Gillum, for being here to break this all down, to talk about it, because we need to talk about it more. Thank you both so much, gentlemen.
Thanks, Janae.